and there were arguments and explosions going off. I'm like, hey, am I back in special forces right now? I mean, I thought this is Housewives, so it kind of was like the worlds collided for a moment. I didn't know where I was.
I'm so excited for this show. It looks so intense, crazy. Like, so what made you want to do this?
Wow. I had some fears, some phobias, and I wanted to address them, but primarily I wanted to show my daughter Brooklyn, who just turned 4, that her mommy is a badass. Like, I wanted her to know that you can overcome any obstacle, any fear. And I wanted to not only, talk the talk, but walk the walk.
I love that. So like you said, you wanted to go in there, show. So when you left the show, what did you learn about yourself? What do you feel like you got out of it?
Girl, that I'm tough as hell. Like, I'm a boss. I think that it says a lot because I was basically the oldest woman there, but I held my own, and I really appreciate the fact that it was really engraved in us that it was mind over matter. And it truly was mind over matter. So I know that I'm mentally tough. I didn't know if I could be as physically tough as everyone else because there were Olympians, there were all these champions, an NBA player. There were so many people that were younger than me, stronger than me, faster than me. But I held my own. And for that, I was just really grateful that I didn't embarrass myself.
Was there ever a moment that you wanted to quit, or you just were like, I can't do this? Or did you always feel like, all right, I'm going to see this through for my daughter?
Well, I'm super competitive, so I don't believe in quitting. I was just afraid that going in, I had some injuries, and I just, wanted to make sure that I could physically continue with the course. But I feel like I was an elite champion, like a football player that gets hurt on the field, breaking their toes or their fingers or their legs, and they get up and they keep running. And I felt like I was that guy on the field.
Was there a specific challenge that was mentally and physically the most challenging for you?
Was there a specific challenge? For me, I have a fear of heights. So I can fly in an airplane. But when it comes to like being outside of a vehicle, I am definitely afraid of heights. So anything that had me jumping out of a plane or going across a mountain or scaling a building, I was like, oh no, I won't be able to do that. And I think the producers knew that going in. And so that was like one of my first challenges was to jump out of the airplane. I'm sorry, jump out of the helicopter, the military helicopter, the bird, backwards into the ocean. So, okay, now the games have begun. Now the mind tricks began very early on.
Definitely. You said before that like you didn't have any communication with the outside world. How hard was that for you to be away from your daughter?
Well, it was really hard for me to be away from her and to be so far and to not have like any control over when I would see her again or just know how that was. Because in other shows I've done outside of the Real Housewives, I was able to communicate with her. And also she was in the same city as me. And so I knew at the end of the day, I would be able to come home to her and give her a hug and kiss and talk to her about my day. And it just wasn't the case with this. So that for me was the most mentally challenging because I'm so in love with my daughter. And that was hard as a mom to be separated like that.
Definitely. But like you said, there were so many high profile athletes, Olympians, other reality stars. Who did you bond with the most and who surprised you the most during this?
Wow. I bonded with so many people, but I would have to say, Dwight Howard, Mel B, Danny was amazing. He was just the sweetest. The guys were really great. I mean, Mike Piazza, Carly was amazing. We were in such close proximity and we had to have each other's backs, because if one failed, we all would fail. So we really had to work together as a team. It was so different from Real Housewives because it was like we're autonomous and we do things separately. But I think with this show, it taught you like the military spirit, and that, you know, you're only as strong or as weak as your weakest teammate.
Right.
So yeah, it was a different experience for me. I've never had to work in a group like that and so closely with one another, but I have to say I have some friends for life.
Definitely. What is more challenging, this or Housewives?
Housewives, you know, we're so used to like, you know, tearing each other apart, or, you know, throwing shade and just being almost as nasty as you can when you're upset. And I think with this, it's the polar opposite. You have to bond, you have to come together. So Housewives, definitely, it's just a different experience, but I would choose this, you know, Fox's Special Forces over Housewives any day, because it was just a beautiful feeling to have that close-knit family that had each other's backs through everything.
What was the first thing you did when you got home, though, besides hug your daughter?
Well, when I got home, hug my daughter, but when I got to the hotel, take the longest shower ever. Like, we had no hot water, we had no plumbing. So it was like, oh my God, I just wanted to wash my hair and I probably took an hour-long shower. I think everyone would say the same.
I love that.
I never had a shower like that in my entire life. I could not wait to take a shower.
I love that. What was more challenging, this or Dancing with the Stars?
Well, Dancing with the Stars, you know what it is. So, you know, you go in, you rehearse, you know you're going to learn a new dance, you know you're going to be rehearsing for X amount of days, you know you're going to perform in front of a live audience. With Special Forces, you didn't know what you were doing from moment to moment, not even day to day, moment to moment. You had to be ready at all times. Essentially, they kidnapped you every day, took you to a place you didn't know where you were going. You didn't know what you were going to be doing. And they would show you what it is that the challenge was. And then one by one, they would just randomly start calling people's names. And you would have to go and do it. And with very little training. So yeah, Fox's Special Forces for sure lives up to the name, with it being world's ultimate test.
Yeah. Which Atlanta housewife would you nominate next to do this?
I don't know if any of them could. Gosh. An Atlanta housewife?
Sure. Or any housewife, I guess.
Oh, they'd have to be really, really tough, like street tough. Like, maybe Erica Jane.
Right. I was going to say probably.
Yeah. Maybe someone who's very scrappy. You know, I would say you have to be gritty and scrappy. And I think Erica might be up to it.
I think so. I know you can't tell me too much.
She couldn't bring glam, though. That's the only thing that would take her out. She cannot fly glam to any of these destinations. So I think if she could get past the glam element of it, I think Erica Jane would be great.
I love it. I know you can't tell me too much, but what has filming been like for Housewives so far? I know you guys are, you know, just getting started, but what's it been like?
It's been a surprise. Like I day one, again, we were shots fired, you know, day one, shots fired. Like, what is happening? Why are people arguing? Who has beef? We had 1 week into production and there were arguments and explosions going off. I'm like, hey, am I back in Special Forces right now? I mean, I thought this was Housewives. So it kind of was like the worlds collided for a moment. I didn't know where I was.
Yeah, I know that there's been some rumors that something goes down with you and Sheree's new man. Can you tease anything about that?
Well, honey, well, let me tell you this. The shade assassin had to come alive and put some people in their place. So yeah, there's some truth to those rumors.
I love it. Did anything change with you and Marlo after the reunion?
I don't know who you're talking about. Sorry.
Oh, Kenya, you're my favorite. What did you think of Porsha's wedding?
I didn't see her wedding. I know it was just a few days ago. I thought she looked beautiful. I saw a picture of her in a red dress. She looked absolutely stunning. So, yeah, yeah,
Happy for her?
yeah. If she's happy, I'm happy. You know, if everyone's happy, then what do I have to say about it?
Right.
You know?
And how's Brooklyn doing? I know you said she just turned 4. It's so exciting. What kind of big milestone? What's she into right now?
What is she into? Like she is in a international school, so she's speaking almost fluent Spanish. She has far surpassed me in speaking a different language than her native tongue. So I'm completely blown away with how intelligent she is and well spoken she is, articulate, but just intuitive also, and so kind. I mean, she has stolen my heart, and I don't think I'll ever get it back.
Oh my God, I love that so much. That's amazing. Well, Kenya, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I cannot wait to see this show when it premieres in January.
Thank you. I can't wait to show people how tough I really am.
I love it. Thank you.
Not all talk.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.